everyone in this chat knows that I'm known as several different people. I'm either known as the Outer Wilds Bing Bong guy, the Sans guy who got trolled by Flowey, Moss guy, no wonder IGN gave Silksong a 9 out of 10 guy. I have several different titles that come after guy who, and then fill in the blank. I'm also quite widely known as the Sinner's Road guy.
It's called a road, it's called a Sinner's Road. It is where you go to shoot load.
And if you don't know anything about Sinner's Road, if you don't know the Sinner's Road joke, Sinner's Road is essentially the That's What She Said equivalent of Hollow Knight Silksong. So it's basically just like, man, this level is so hard. Me on Sinner's Road. But I never thought that any of those personas would ever come back to affect me in person IRL until Tuesday. Let me explain. So after I ended stream last Tuesday, I messaged one of my buddies, Jameson actually. You guys know Jameson, right? Jameson and I decided to go to a creators only meetup. And if you guys don't know what meetup is, it's essentially a bunch of 20s and 30-year-old adults that are just trying to, you know, meet new people and hang out. So we found a creator meetup that was for creators only, people that are not necessarily creators, but like if you do art for a living, like if you have some sort of creative endeavor that you are chasing, you would probably go to this meetup and talk to other people that are also like-minded and creative, right? I picked him up, we went to the creator meetup, we introduced ourselves to the host, and the host was super friendly, and then we just kind of went around and mingled in different groups. I learned about a couple people's lives. One guy was like a vibe coder that coded an app that you could 3D model like houses that you want to buy. It was actually really interesting. Another guy, I don't know what he did because he pretty much only talked about Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, that's 100% accurate. I don't even know what he did. All I know is that he likes Star Wars and Star Trek. So that was another guy. And then finally, Jameson and I kind of split up to go hang out with like our own groups to just meet as many people as possible. And I went and I joined a different group. I think there was like 2 girls and a guy or something like that. I walked up to the group and I introduced myself to one girl who I had already been talking to before. And then the guy, and then the last girl I introduced, I should say woman, the last woman that I introduced myself to, she goes, I think I know who you are. And I'm like, oh God, wait a minute. Who am I? And she goes, you make content online, right? And I'm like, yes. And she says, yeah, you do like rants, right? Like you do like stitches of different people. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's like literally the saved emote. I'm like, okay, thank God. No, that's not me. You have to be thinking of somebody else. And she goes, no, I'm pretty sure it's you. Like I definitely have seen you doing rants or like stitches of people. I'm like, out of the like 1,000 videos that I have, I might have done like 2 or 3. And then it hit me because I did the Palm Beach Pete video. I'm like, are you talking about that video? Did you see that video? And she goes, I have to find your channel. So she starts scrolling on her phone and she's like looking through her subscribers or whatever. And to be honest, in the back of my head, I'm like kind of hoping, I'm like, oh my God, please, like don't pull up some atrocious video that I've done or some wild take or super embarrassing thing that I've done. Because guys, here's a hot take, but if I'm talking to real people in the real world, the last thing that I want to do is pull up a video of, let's say, for example, me singing about giving sexual favors to my boss in an elevator. So I'm continuing the conversation. In the back of my head, I'm kind of hoping like, please be somebody else that that looks like a Minecraft dirt block or whatever. Please be literally anyone else. And after like 60 seconds, she goes, yeah, this is you, right? Like she just like shows me her phone with the coolest emote. So it's literally, it's me doing that, but in cartoon form. You know that picture that CBA drew? And she was subscribed. So not only did she find my channel, she was also subscribed, and she had been watching me for seemingly a long while. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, that is me. I've only had one other person recognize me. You guys know that I asked them to take a picture with me. So they approached me in line as I was bagging my groceries, and I said, oh my God, this is crazy. Can I take a picture with you? Because it was my first ever fan interaction getting recognized in public. But it was a kid. And to be honest, I figured like the majority of the people that would know me are gonna be children. So you can imagine that I was surprised when an adult woman, which by the way, if I look at my analytics, like 15% of people that watch me it says is female. Anyway, this time around, take a big bite of cereal. The other person in the group offered to take a picture of us, and she said yes. So I didn't have to be the one to ask for the picture, guys. Somebody else offered to take the picture. So we're kind of moving on up in terms of the desperate content creator, I guess. You get the point that I'm making, right? Here's the picture here, guys. Bear in mind, again, this was at a meetup. This woman's name was Sharon, but the story doesn't end there. Not only did I not ask to take the picture this time and somebody else did, and she said yes, that is not anywhere near the most embarrassing part about this story. I swear to God, you guys are almost gonna think that I'm making this up. As the night goes on, Sharon kept talking about the videos that she had seen of me. I kept trying to kind of figure out what videos she had seen, like what does she know me for? I wasn't able to get like a straight answer out of her. She said a couple things. She said her two favorite games are, I think, Hollow Knight and then Hollow Knight Silksong. And then she said Undertale was also one of her favorite games of all time. I'm like, okay, there's no wonder that you know me then. Just to give you guys some context, Sharon is a game developer. She's currently going to university for game developing, and she wants to specifically make and draw and create backgrounds for games. And she specifically complimented Hollow Knight Silksong's backgrounds. She's like, I love them, and that's what I want to do. I want to make those for games. Apparently, she made a game of her own in like a month and a half, and I thought that was really cool. So she's a game dev. She's an aspiring game dev, which I think is awesome. I was happy because it seemed like she was genuinely a fan. Like, it seemed like she had genuinely seen a lot of videos and had been watching me for a while, which was so surreal. Like, it was so surreal because literally out of the blue, at this creators meetup, I meet someone that knows me who's like also an adult. So I go and I leave and I join a different group because that's just what I was doing. Like, that's what you do in these meetups. You kind of, at least that's what I do. I like to walk around and meet as many people as possible and just listen to as many stories as I can. Because like, even if you walk up to somebody and they're only talking about Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever, you can still learn something from everyone. You know what I mean? The other groups were fine. Like, I don't want to say anything bad, but I just, I decided to go back because it just seemed like they were having a good time. So I decided to go back and talk to them. And I came back, like somehow the content got brought up again. I started asking, I said, okay, did you remember the videos that you've seen of me? And she goes, well, I could pull up a video and show it right now, but I don't think you'd want me to. And I just started laughing right away. I'm like, oh my God, like cause I don't, like guys, I've done this for 2.5 years. So 2.5 years of videos, I don't remember everything I've done. You know what I mean? I don't remember what videos are out there of me. All I know is that if I ever try to get a real job and somebody finds my social media, like my YouTube pages or TikTok or Instagrams, I'm fucked. I said, which videos are you talking about? Because it seemed like she remembers. And I kid you not. I promise to God I'm not making this up. But she was saying like, oh yeah, like guys, like he's funny. I promise, like Trevor's really funny. I'm like, what videos are you thinking about? Which videos are you talking about? She goes, well, I could show the group some videos. I don't think you'd want me to though. And I'm like, oh God, which ones are you talking about? And she goes, well, if I showed them the Sinners Road one, they could get an idea of how funny you are, but I don't think you'd like that. And no joke, I swear to God, as soon as she said Sinners Road, I literally couldn't believe it. Literally. So, because there was so many things that had blown my mind by this point. Number one, I was having another fan interaction IRL. Number two, this fan interaction was an adult woman. And the reason why this is surprising is because, again, 15% of all of my analytics is females. Right? So it's already the minority of the people that watch me. So those two things have blown my mind. And number three, I just listened to an adult woman say, I have seen your Sinners Road videos. I almost couldn't believe it. And as soon as she dropped that, I swear to God, I started blushing. Like instantaneously, I started blushing. I'm like, oh my God, I literally can't believe you have seen those videos. I said to her, you know that I'm gonna tell this story on stream, right? I got her permission to tell the story on stream and show her picture. I actually did something embarrassing afterward. Like when she asked to take a picture with me, I instinctually handed the person that took the picture my phone. So they took like 5 pictures on my phone, and Sharon said to me, she goes, is there any way that how do I go about getting those pictures from you? And I said, I can send them to you, no problem. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, this person is a fan, and I just sent them pictures from my phone, so now they have my number. That's not even the embarrassing thing. Later on in the night, I had a really sour interaction. Like, it was one of the strangest interactions that I've ever had with a human being in a long time in person. I went up and I joined a different group of people. And this group of people, no joke, I legitimately thought that they could be on drugs. No joke. I walked up to this group of people, and it was an adult male and adult female. If I had to guess, the woman was maybe 35 years old. The guy was probably 45-ish. I walked up, I started talking to them. I don't know how to explain this, guys. I do improv comedy, so I consider myself to at least be faster than average at thinking on my feet and coming up with like an example or scenario or acting, right? I cannot give you an example of what this person was saying to me because they would ask me a question. They'd say, so what do you do for work? And I'd say, I'm a content creator. And she'd go, no, but what do you do? what do you actually do? And I'm like, I guess I entertain people and I edit videos. And she goes, no, what do you do? It was so surreal because I would answer her question and then she would ask me the exact same thing. And I didn't know what to say. You know what I mean? The way that she would talk would just like, it just didn't make any sense. Like genuinely did not make any sense. Long story short, I said that I make content creation. They asked me if I did OnlyFans. I said no. The woman said to me, so you do content, right? I said yes. And she goes, well, what type of content do you do? I said video games, entertainment, random stuff, whatever. She goes, because I also do content. I'm like, okay. And she goes, and I was wondering if you would want to take part in the content. And the guy was looking at me as I was answering this question. Like, to be honest, I don't know what the fuck the entire conversation was, to be totally honest. It was almost as if I was listening to gibberish. Like, seriously, it did not make sense what was happening. But in that moment, part of me was wondering, am I being asked to have a three-way right now? I said something along the lines of like, what exactly are you asking me right now? Because I didn't want to imply anything. I wanted to be very certain exactly the question that I was being handed before I responded to it. No joke, her response was exactly this, okay? I'm not exaggerating at all, exactly this. She was looking at me as she asked me the question. I said that back to her and she goes, okay, all right. So anyway, what do you do for a living? She was annoyed that I asked that question. After a while, I was so confused. I was debating between walking away because I had no clue what the hell was happening in the conversation. And I was also debating between trying to match her energy out of like not necessarily flattery, but like I've heard several times people love when you match their energy. So I tried to do the exact same thing she was doing. So when she asked me for the 6th time what I did for a living, I tried to mimic how she was talking. I was going, I do it all. I do the script writing. I do the entertaining. I do the video editing. I'm in charge of the whole shebang. And like, I was just talking very like theatrically because I was just trying to match her energy in hopes that the conversation would go better. But she didn't really like that. Slowly, she started trying to like knock me down a peg. So she started saying that I was very self-conscious. And she started saying that I was incapable of doing anything. Borderline disrespecting me to my face. My philosophy is if someone's gonna blatantly disrespect you to your face, do not get upset about it. Politely leave the conversation and don't let them do that. So after a while, I said, Jameson was in the conversation with me, and you guys have seen Jameson, he was in the IRL stream with me. She started judging how much money she thought that we both made. And she goes, you're not as successful as you think, and you make more money than him. And like, we were literally just like, Jameson and I were just like sitting here watching her talk at us like this. And she dropped that line. She goes, and you're not happy about the money that you make, and you're not happy about the money you make. And like, we just sat there and we weren't engaging with what she was saying, and we were just kind of staring at her. So she goes, oh, never mind. You make more money than him. I don't know if you guys have ever met somebody like that, but it was very entertaining, but it was quite uncomfortable. I think she was getting upset with how little we were giving her because we just like weren't reacting to what she was saying after a while. We were just kind of staring at her. She blatantly just said to me, she said, you suck. And you're a bad actor, and you suck. And she started saying it to me, and I said her name, which I won't say right now. Let's just say, for example, I said, I'll just say like Zenith from Zenith Martlet. I said, Zenith, I'm gonna exit this conversation because I'm not gonna let you sit here and blatantly disrespect me to my face. So I'm gonna exit the conversation. She started saying something again, like she kept insulting me, and I said, it was nice meeting you. And I just walked away and joined a new group. Guys, it's very hard to do that in the moment, but I truly believe that's like the best way to handle that scenario. And Jameson was like, bro, you handled that really well, which I felt good about because it was not easy to handle that situation like that. But in that scenario, somebody's basically challenging me and trying to start an altercation with me, and I just walked away. I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't upset. I'm not upset anymore. Truthfully, I'm not. In fact, like 10 minutes later, I wasn't upset, but in the moment, it's hard not to have your like blood pressure rise. You know what I mean? So I walked away and we talked with a group of people for maybe about 10 more minutes, and then we decided to leave. Sharon, who you guys know now, who was the person that recognized me from my clips, I went over to that group and I was saying goodbye because I noticed everyone was saying goodbye to like every person, just kind of like to be cordial with everyone. And I said goodbye to Sharon, and I said, Sharon, I just realized this, but you have my number now, so like please don't go like posting that or whatever. And as soon as I said that, like they were like, oh no, like no problem. Like they got like very almost like embarrassed and defensive, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like I know that you weren't gonna do that, because I was talking with her and the group of people for like an hour that night, and I could tell by like, just by her character, she seemed like she was like a nice, socially aware person. And I said, I'm so sorry, and then I told her about what happened, and then we left on good terms. So that's the thing that happened that was embarrassing for me, but that was the whole story. And so that was my second ever fan interaction. Link is Jay chilling. Yeah, look at this. Hang on. Guys, Link listening to my story right now.